I competed in the biggest jiu-jitsu tournament in Seattle. I'll be taking you through each of my matches and giving you the details on how I took double gold in both gi and no gi. After just getting by round 1,
I feel like shit, that's how I feel.
we meet an even tougher opponent and I'll have to use all of my energy if I want to win this match. Now before I get crucified for pulling guard, check out the sequence I hit here. If you keep getting knee sliced by that 14-year-old prodigy kid at your gym, then I have a solution for you. Insert a butterfly hook under their leg, then push on their far shoulder and Beyblade yourself under their body. Now that we are staring into their soul, insert both butterfly hooks behind their knees. You can take the back from here with extended technique, or if they jolt out like this, keep control of the legs and stand up for 2 points. Mason wasn't feeling that one and starts working on a wrestle up to get me back. Shortly, he'll get his revenge by taking my back, but I make a few mistakes prior that need to be addressed first. Right now, I'm trying to get to a 1 foot in, 1 foot out position called headquarters. If you've never heard me blabble about headquarters, then hit subscribe because you clearly are not. Unfortunately, the knee slices come later as Mason defends my positioning with spider guard, and he'll use this to push me away and start an inevitable wrestle up. As I feel him start to rise, I drape my torso over his head to put weight on him, then lock a Kimura grip and hit a Sumigaeshi variation, nearly earning my judo black belt on the spot. However, I unfortunately lost the Kimura tension in the process and Mason beats me to the feet and starts pushing me down. He transitions to the front headlock, and while the guillotine is the least of my worries thanks to this guy, I need to be cautious about Mason spinning to my back. He sits up and we fall into the guillotine. However, as stated earlier, my guillotine defense is one of the best in my defensive arsenal, so my only worry is that he takes the back. I'm using my left arm to block his hips from spinning around, and as I rise up to my feet, I'm making sure my head stays in the middle of his chest to prevent any guillotines. As we get up, I immediately try to hit him with a sneaky sweep, but Mason keeps his balance and falls directly into a hip sprawl, preventing me from locking half guard, and he'll get real close to solidifying a pass. As soon as his leg gets free, I immediately turtle to prevent the pass. However, from here he takes my back and inserts one hook. From here, if he manages to get his left leg inside, I'll be down 2 points and in the worst position in jiu-jitsu, so I need to do everything that I can to make sure that doesn't happen. With just a few minutes left on the clock, being down 2 and being stuck in the worst position in jiu-jitsu, things are not looking good. My goal is to get my shoulders onto the mat and break the connection between Mason and my back. However, as I start to turn out, he sits away and drags me back to the other side. I reach the lowest point in the match as I lose the hand fight and Mason locks up onto a tight bow and arrow choke. I try to outlast his grips and tug on his elbow, holding on for dear life, and just as I'm about to tap out, he finally lets go. In order to avoid getting another force slapped on me, as Mason transitions to mount, I have to rotate with him and allow him to flatten me out instead of collecting another 4 points. However, in the process, I managed to escape with one hook, and after the experience I just had, I'm not letting him back on my back. I run into another threat as he starts attacking an arm triangle. To escape this, I need to expose my back, but I'm also keeping in mind to do that without exposing room for hooks. Now free of submission threats and with no hooks on me, I go for a Hail Mary and grab Mason by the head and hip up to flip him off of me and end up on top. Being exhausted, my technical level is super low, and you can see that as I go for this despicable back take and end up in top half guard. I attempt to keep pressing through Mason's guard with the knee cut, however he's making that difficult by applying coyote guard and trapping my foot, not allowing me to slide out. Eventually, he'll force me back to half guard and the ref resets us back in the middle. Down 2 points and with the match on the verge of ending, I have one last chance to score. I'll get my grips, and as soon as the ref says go, I jump back and swing into a quick Toriano pass. I'll run a north-south to solidify the guard pass and score 3 points, putting me up by 1. Mason puts up a good push at the end, but I'll ultimately win by 1 and move on to the semifinals. While I know these last 2 matches were pretty uneventful in terms of submissions, make sure to check out the video this Friday if you want to see my new triangle technique in action. And stick around for the no-gi bracket with some crazy competitors and tough rounds. If that sounds interesting, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys then.